Reasons given for not labeling. I went to the December 7th City Council meeting. I've been down to the opening day of the legislature. I was down there for a rally on February 21st. And this is what I hear when I ask, why aren't these being labeled? It's complicated. It's complicated. I've heard one senator just said it was complicated and left it at that. The cost would be too great and therefore pushed over onto the consumer, or it would imply that there's something wrong with genetically modified foods, and that's why they don't label it. There was a story that was aired February 6th, KITV News, and it was entitled, Hawaii Activists Fight Over Genetically Modified Organism Food Labeling. It was, they were interviewing Walter Riddy, but they also interviewed Senator Nishihara, and he stated that the reason the bills that go before the legislature are not heard or voted on, the first thing he said was, the science is not clear. Then he corrected himself and he said there's no evidence that GMOs are not safe. He also said he may hold a public hearing, but the bills related to labeling will not be voted on. They stall either on his desk or Representative Tsuji's desk. They never get heard. Americans want to know. People want to know. There was a poll taken back in June of last year. 93% said the federal government should require labeling on genetically modified foods because you have the right to know what you're eating. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there was a petition that was nationwide, and there were 1 million signatures on that petition, which generated a letter that was signed by 55 members of our Congress. And it says, FDA has a clear opportunity to protect consumers' rights to know, the freedom to choose what we feed our families, and the integrity of our free and open markets with this petition. And the one signature you're going to recognize, I have the letter in the back, is Senator Daniel Akaka. Now here's some resources that I used to put this together, but it's stuff that I've read or watched in the last year. Uncertain Peril was written by Claire Hope Cummings. I had the opportunity to meet and talk with her. What impressed me the most about her is her knowledge of the subject of GMOs, but she's an environmental lawyer, and she used to work for the USDA. And she wrote this book, speaking out about genetic modification. Omnivore's Dilemma was written by Michael Pollan. It also talks about GMO. It was the textbook required for my class. There's a lot of information in there. Genetic Roulette by Jeffrey Smith. It has a little bit more of the science about how they genetically modified the food. Facing Hawaii's Future was written specifically for the state. Movies that you can watch that'll give you more information: Food Inc., Food Matters, The Future of Food, King Corn, Islands at Risk was made specifically for Hawaii, and The True Cost of Food. Okay. Some other resources here, and I have this on a piece of paper in the back for you when you want to take a look at some of this. Some of the things that you're going to want to look at is the Center for Food Safety. Robin O'Brien, you can just Google her name. She used to work on Wall Street. She was a food analyst until her child had an allergic reaction to her breakfast food. And she started doing the same thing I'm doing, taking a closer look at food. She left her job on Wall Street to pursue this full time. Also, Maui Today with Dr. Lauren Payne. Dr. Lauren Payne, I've met with him, I've talked with him. He also testified before City Council. He is a consultant to the World Health Organization. He's also a peer-reviewed doctor, and he's also stepping out and talking about his concerns about genetic modification of our food. Okay, that's the end of it. But one thing I do want to tell you is that Dr. Melissa, you will probably go a little bit more into some of the science and the health risks. But I was sharing with some people earlier today, because I'm also a teacher. I'm a preschool teacher, have been for 21 years. Within the 21 years that I've been teaching, I have seen an increase in the children needing special education. Today on CNN, one of the top news stories was 78% increase in autism. 78% within the last 10 years. 1 in 88 children will be diagnosed with autism. And if it's not the food, then what is it? What's changed? GMOs have been on the market for 16 years. We are seeing an increase in childhood obesity and diabetes in children who have no diabetes in their family, heart disease, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease. Something's happening. And because this stuff is not labeled, there's no traceability. And that's why I'm stepping out and urging people to also talk with the legislature, write letters to your supermarket, talk with friends and family. Thank you.